everyone started their life with lots of fun and enjoyment and are unaware about reality, success and so on. But the realization of these things does not come slowly. It appears suddenly and bumped upon our happy life, and there are no other ways left other than to fight back. So today I will share with you one of my personal experience where these things hit me hard. Usually during November, the admission process for 11th standard begins. And I was not fortunate enough to get admission in the same school in which I was studying for 5 years. So I had applied and I did all the other stuffs and I was called for an interview. Fortunately, I cleared it and I took the admission. And from that point of my life, I had faced a lot of similar situations that took place eventually after the completion of my 10th standard. Well, either have to talk to a new person or appear for an interview or take a decision of my own and a lot of new other stuffs. As a child, we do not have the fear to talk to a new person or to talk to our teacher or something like this. But as we grow up, we develop our intellect. And we tend to develop an hesitation to explore new stuffs. So, what I am talking about is the fear of failure. So, here I am, Debjit Mukherjee, and you are watching The Whiteboard. Take up an hypothetical situation where if you do not have the fear to do anything, so will anyone be able to defeat you or will you fail? For example, if a rider is not scared of falling, can anyone stop him from riding? If a chef is not worried about criticism, can anyone stop him from giving his 100% in what he is doing? If an actor is not worried about people's review, can anyone stop him to give his best shot in his film? Just think, if you lose this fear, can anyone stop you to achieve anything you want? No, right? And who can do this? A child. As a child is not scared of or intimidated about anything he is doing. Even if he is failing, he will stand up and do it over and over again. And that child is alive in all of us. The only need is to bring out that child. What we need to do is, we need to break through that fear. That fear is nothing, just an invisible boundary that is being created. Fear is just an imagination which creates an invisible boundary and stops us from doing new things, from achieving our goals in life. Now, let us come to the root cause of fear. If we term it in one word, it is comparison. And there are three types of comparison in our society. Comparison with others, comparison with different kinds of situation, and self-comparison. Basically, if we stop comparison, then we can keep aside this fear of failure. We cannot stop others, but at least we can stop ourselves to compare with others. That is self-comparison. Truly speaking, guys, people around us, rather everyone, wants to lead a happy life. Some of them may succeed, but there are people also who face failure. I will now share with you an example which will make grabbing these things a little easier. There was a group of 4 students who were about to sit for their 12th boards. 4 of them were in same school and same class. The first guy, who was very good in studies, and all the teachers expected him to be the topper. So, to impress the teachers and his fellow mates, he was studying. In this process, what he did is, he created an invisible boundary which now he have to face to achieve success. And that boundary was tormenting him inside out and terrorizing him for the consequences of failure. What is that boundary made of? Fear, isn't it? Now, the second guy, who was studying to compete with his own friends, own fellow mates, has only one goal, that he have to score more than his friends in the finals. So again, he has created the same boundary which is made of fear. So if he has the potential to score 100% and his fellow mates with whom he is competing has the potential to score 50%, then his benchmark is 50%. And he is even fearing that he would be able to compete them or not. The third one, who has already given his 100% in his pre-boards, now thinking that whether he would be able to get more marks than his pre-boards in the finals or not. So here he have again created the same boundary of fear to be able to or not to be able to compete with his own performance. And the last Chirag of our group, who was a mediocre student, used to fail in all the exams, was super lazy to get his ass out of the bed and sit for studying. He failed in his pre-board and decided to forget about results, performances, what people thinks, what teachers are saying, and he started studying. And he started studying not for results but to acquire knowledge and understand the subject. And surprisingly, he was focused, he was understanding, he was studying, and he was enjoying the subjects. And he was up late at night not for results but for understanding and enjoying the subject which he was studying. He was there in the exam hall not for results. He was there to write his paper on the basis of what he have studied. So, is there any boundary? Is there any fear? No, right? In this case, he is ought to win. He is ought to score more marks than anyone else in the exam hall. He was not there to compete with anyone. Rather, he was there to write his paper and finish his paper on the basis of the knowledge he acquired from studying. What matters to him was those 3 hours, and he wanted to give his 100% in those 3 hours. And we can find this rare type of people in each and every fields like business, cooking, painting, singing, etc., who are actually fearless and successful. If one is successful and wherever he is, if he has a simple and very small doubt or fear, he could fall down at any point of time. Being actual fearless needs self-development. We often set our levels of success and we tend to follow that. But tell me one thing, how many of us think that rich people do not fear? If that is to be true, then people living in France should be the happiest person as their initial education is free. They get a lot of health benefits and a lot of other grants from the government. But as we all know that French people protest for anything and everything. So can we say that they are not happy? So what does this mean? This simply means that stepping up on the levels we have set will not make you happy or fearless. But what will make a difference? Leaving all that set goals, set levels aside and then living your life will make a difference. That will give you a different perspective towards your own life. And then, whether you be at the top with all success or you be at the bottom with struggling and failures, that will make no difference. So, what are these levels? How are these levels set? These levels are set by comparisons which are often put into us by our parents, friends and society. And later, when we grow up, our intellects set these levels. If we want to find out the root cause of these fears, we will arrive at faith. Faith in ourselves, faith in what we are. I was talking about levels, right? When you don't set any levels, when you don't give a damn about victory or defeat, rather you prefer working for commitment and satisfaction, that is the time when you start enjoying your life in your own way. The stage of unconditionality once reached could make you absolute resistant to all the possible hindrance. There will be no way to stop you because someone who believes in others have to face the destiny. But someone who believes in himself have the power to design his own destiny. This invincible power of self-belief, purity in desire to gain knowledge for the sake of learning, and an attitude of unquestionable integrity will lead us to the dimension of life beyond all possible imaginations.